Well, hello everybody! Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert, April 17th, 2020. And what you're looking at here is a modified version of the weed whacker and an extra long dibbler stick. I found out from one of the comments that it's called a dibbler stick, and I Googled it, and yeah, I had no idea that they had actually had a tool called a dibbler stick to do what I wanted it to do. When I made my own, I just had a need and I just fulfilled it. And somebody informed me that dibbler sticks have been around for a while. Okay, so I made this one and this weed whacker for my neighbors up the road. They're the ones that supplied me with the new chickies, the new chicks. And I had a little surprise for you in a little while, but yeah, on hers, I know she has a little problem with her back, so I made hers longer. So it's got increments going up to 12, then it skips to 16, and then it goes all the way up to 24. And it's longer, so it's 25 inches long, so she doesn't have to bend over to use it. She can pretty much just reach down and make a hole in the ground. So then on the weed whacker, all right, so instead of the big heavy steel handle like I did on that one, I made it with this little piece of spring steel that I had, and I bent it at the end, so it's kind of like a putter, a golf putter, and sharpened it up, and then I gas welded it right to the blade. So if it's not at the right angle, because I know John's taller than I am, if it's not at the right angle, he just has to stand on one side or the other and just bend the handle one way or the other until it's the right angle for him. But I'm just taking a guess, standing beside him, that this might be just about the right size. And his wife can use it if she wants to, because I made the handle long enough so he could use it standing up, and she can just grab it down a little bit lower and use it also. And it was tested, sharpened, tested, and it works perfectly. So I think they'll be happy with that. Now, why did I do that? Well, I'm going to head on down here, and while I'm doing that, I want to mention the other day I said B-1 bomber, and it was a B-2 stealth that flew over, and it came from that direction where the UFOs are, and came and went in that direction. Yeah, it's supposed to get some rain today. They went in that direction. So today, when I was up at my neighbor's place and doing what we had to do up there, two AWACS flew over in the same direction. All right, everybody, what's going on out there? AWACS and stealth, those are war machines. That's not normal stuff that you see in the sky around here. I know I'm near an Air Force base, but the Air Force base is over that way. And I don't think that they were headed that way. They were definitely headed that way, in opposite direction. I know there's no air shows going on because of the COVID-19. So that's kind of interesting that 2 days in a row, war machines have flown over. Makes one wonder. All right, so I'm going to come in here and see the little chicks. They're all inside the coop right now because I just cleaned it and put fresh food in there. And the reason that I was up at my neighbor's was I was thinking last night I should have two more buff Orpingtons, the hens. So I went up there and made a deal with them for two more. And while I was up there, we're discussing that they saw my weed whacker in the video yesterday, and they have a lot of weeds just like I do. And because snake season's not far off here, you don't want to be walking past a bunch of those tall weeds where a snake could be hiding inside there and catch you by surprise. So they need to get their weeds whacked down too. So that's why I made a weed whacker. And nobody asked me, but while I was making the weed whacker, I said, well, they got a weed whacker, but they don't have a dibbler stick. And she's going to be getting her garden going pretty soon. So I said, okay, time to make her a dibbler stick. So that's where that all came from. So before I went up there at noontime, I was out here all morning cutting the lawn. And this is Andy's parking space. And you remember it was all grown in with weeds like over there. And I cleaned it all down. Now, some of these little pea plants, I pulled a couple of them up, and they had pea pods on them. Here's one right here. Check this out. There's a little pea pod. Isn't that something? So yeah, that one's got a flower going on it. And got some cute little, almost look like daisies down there. But yeah, really weird. Some of these have pods on them, and some have pods plus flowers on them. So, hey, I use the greens to feed the chickens, and there's a lot of them around here, so I'll have to let them grow for a little while longer. Hopefully that rain will come through and give them a little water, because I can't be out here watering the desert. All right, so I stopped about here when I was whacking all of these big weeds down. So I don't know, maybe Andy's sick of hunkering down out there and might be contemplating a weekend away and might want to come up and spend some time here. So I figured I better get this all cleaned out. And I cut all the weeds around the back side of the chicken coop, all the way around the front side, all across there. I started a little bit over there by the what do they call that thing? The web booster or Wii booster for my cell phone. I also whack some weeds around over there because I go over to use that ladder all the time. And those look like it's a bunch of weeds growing, but that's actually the ones I cut down. I just have to move them, and I'm not really sure if I want to put them in my compost, because my compost is ready, within a month or two will be ready to use, and I don't want to add new stuff to the top of it yet. So I've got to break my compost into double sections where I can put fresh stuff in one pile, move the good stuff that's already broken down into the second piles that can be used as I need it for the gardening. All right, so I went all the way through here. I cut down all of the weeds around here, all the way around the camper here. And yeah, I probably did about a half an acre. And it felt good. I was breaking a sweat doing that. Of course, it's cooling down a little bit right now because of these clouds that are coming overhead. And it looks like it's probably going to miss me, because straight up overhead, blue sky, the rain's over that direction. So I came through here and I weed whacked all of this here. And I sometimes use the back doors to go into the containers just to get rid of recyclables into the barrels I have in there. So I weed whacked all through here and all the way through to my propane hut, because I have to get into the propane hut every now and then. And then I started on the way down here weed whacking, and I got to get all the way around the solar panels, because I got some weeds that are as tall as the solar panel, or taller than the solar panels over there. And look at it all underneath. But I got to be careful over there I don't hit any wiring. And someday I'm going to dress that all up and make it pretty. But you know my old saying, function before pretty. So I got function. When I got time, I'll make it pretty. All right. So that's about all I have here. I did do some work also in the garden again, and I need to water all of the new seeds and that stuff and the little seedlings that I put in. I like to water those lightly every afternoon just before the sun goes down, to strengthen them up and get them ready to really burst into growth. And I didn't water today because I was expecting rain, and it never got here. Of course, there's some nice thunderheads down along there. And earlier, that whole sky from about right there all the way over to where those mountains are was all rain. You could see it coming down in the black sheets. So they got rain out there, but as normal, it skipped over me. Andy B, I thought you were going to do me a special rain dance to get that rain to come here. Shame on you. Tease me like that. All right. Okay, that's all I have for today, everybody. This is G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there. Don't forget, subscriptions are free. Click the subscribe button and click the little bell notification or the bell icon so that you can get notified when a new video is posted. You don't want to miss this stuff that's coming up. I'm going to get into modifying that coop ASAP because I want it to be more functional. And I did scare Nellie one time. She was laying an egg in one of these nests, and I popped the door open on her, and she squawked and ran out. I scared her, and there she is right up there. And interesting little fact is yesterday she was picking on the little ones through the screen there and trying to get a peck at them, trying to lure them closer to the screen so she could peck at them. And she missed just by a little bit a few times. And then old Brewster over there came up behind her. He let out a screech and jumped onto her back and gave her a good kick, and she went running underneath the coop over there. And she stayed over there for quite a while, and she has not gone back near that screen since. He has. He goes over there and checks on them every 2 or 3 times a day, make sure they're all okay. So, and I talked to the people I got him from. They said that he was always very protective of the other little chicks. She was turning into a real biatch. And yeah, she got put in her place, didn't you, Nellie? She found this new nest or this new perch area, and she likes it. She gets up there and she looks around now. She's not allowed, I guess Brewster told her she's not allowed over there by the little ones. All right, everybody. G-Bear signing off.